Hi, everyone, and welcome to The Balanced Woman. I'm Tina Lewis, your relationship rescue consultant. I'll just give you a few more minutes to see, to allow other people to join. Come on in, come on in, come on in, and welcome. Welcome to the Balanced Woman space, one of many series that we're going to be having on a weekly basis. Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. Come on in, come on in. I know this is not my usual, but I want to get this space to a space of being the norm to show up on Mondays at 12:15. I want to make it a normal occurrence to talk about the balanced woman. And I think it's going to be very beneficial for most of all of you joining. 70% of divorces are filed by women. And out of that 70%, over half are recently promoted. So what that tells us is that when women are under pressure, the first thing to go or to suffer is our marriage, our relationships. I saw this myself almost 2 years ago when I had taken on an ambitious role as an executive director of an organization. I remember one morning waking up and about 4 o'clock and finishing a project that I had to have ready for that day. And as I was closing up my laptop, I remember looking over at my husband who was sleeping ever so peacefully. And I thought to myself, you are annoying me. You are adding to the pressure that I feel right now. And in that moment, I could have become a statistic. I could have become one of those women who said, I want a divorce. And so what I want to do with the balanced woman is to teach you how not only do you need a plan, because without a plan, you will get a divorce, but also how to balance your day-to-day relationships and career at the same time. So, what is the balanced woman? The balanced woman represents the challenges and successes of a woman seeking equilibrium in our fast-paced world. You know, it's amazing. We have so much to do. Not only are we focused on becoming a successful career woman, but what's most important is that we have our family lives. And that's something that we often push to the side in hopes of thinking, I can juggle them both. So as I'm juggling my career and my love life, I'm thinking to myself, wow, I have a contract with this organization or this business or this, whatever it is that you're leading. And you say, well, I have to do it and I have to do it. This is my reputation on the line. And what normally fails as a result is our love life, our personal lives with family, friends, and the other. So what I want to do is try to help you to prevent that burnout, the stress and burnout that comes with it. So we're going to be doing this on a weekly basis. I just wanted to come on today. As you can tell, I'm hoarse, and that's okay because I really wanted to get this out. And I really want to convey this in such a way that lets you know that, one, you're not alone because we all have experienced it somewhere along the way or the other. I still have to balance it myself because it can become very tiresome in trying to manage all of these things we think about, right? But I often say, if you and when you have a plan, your life could be so much easier. Just imagine the elimination of stress and burnout as a result. So a few things we're going to talk about. I wrote them down just so that I can stay on track. A few things we're going to talk about, and we're going to help to dispel in this weekly series of The Balanced Woman. And that is holistic well-being, mental health, physical, and emotional. So I often say mind, body, and spirit has to be in alignment, has to be first and foremost before we could do anything or be anything for anyone. We have to be for ourselves. The other thing is I want to create a space of empowerment so that you know that what you need to balance your life isn't necessarily what I need or anyone else, but finding that balance, that's most important. The next thing is role modeling. That's key because we have the younger generation coming behind us, the millennials and so forth, right? They're also coming behind us. And they're coming behind us because, one, that's what happens. We came behind a generation, right? And for most of us, we came behind a generation that speaks to work hard or go home. You work, work, work. Working is a representation of who you are. When you work and you are doing really well at your job, that's what success is. That's what most of us who had those, my mom and everybody before us, had them representing that we need to work and work really hard at our career so that we can equate to success. The reality is, and as we know, and as I found out myself personally, is that if we continue to keep down that road, we'll have nothing but stress and burnout. And what does that look like? So I think it's so important for us to represent what it should look like to the generations coming behind us. Also, I believe it's important to, advocate for change, in our working environment. So many of us that are female leaders, we tend to look toward those male leaders and thinking that we need to align with how they operate. Because if we don't, that doesn't allow us to look strong and powerful in our position. But the reality is, guess what? We are women. And we need to advocate for those that's coming behind us or alongside of us. There are many things that need to change in the working environment. And are we really standing for it? And I say a lot of why we don't stand for it is because we're not replicating it. We need to replicate. We need to mimic the things in which we want people to do and see as our strengths. So as women, we do have a lot on our plate and we do have a lot to balance. However, we can do it. I have clients doing it all the time. So we can do it and we will do it. The last thing is, we need to include our community in all of what we do, because if you don't have an understanding, how can you present or support someone needing to be supported when they are struggling in their marriage and career? So what I want us to do in this group is to come in and, if you have any questions or ways in which you may manage your career and your marriage at the same time, and you are successful in it, please drop that down here in our comments, because I know that we all need as much support as we can get. And for the most part, most women believe that we have to be successful in our career before anything else, so that people could look at us and listen to us and believe what we're saying. However, we know deep down the stressors that come with it. And so I believe that the balanced woman series on a weekly basis is going to be something that can really promote your life, as a relationship and couples intimacy consultant, as well as an accredited mediator who works with individuals as well as specializes in the working environment. I believe it's important that I not only keep what I have to myself and to my clients, but also to just share it with the world. So here I am coming out to the world as your support. And please feel free, if you have any questions or anything you'd like for me to ask, please feel free to DM me. And I wouldn't call any names, but I will certainly respond to them via live. The intention right now is to start with every Monday at 12:15. I'm also going to upload it to my YouTube channel, so you'll be able to go back and see that. But as it stands now, it's going to be every Monday at 12:15. So what I want us to do, as you can tell, my voice is really giving me licks, but I have to do what I have to do, right? But what I want us to do and walk away with is I want you to think about, write down your priorities. What are your priorities? The priorities in your marriage and or relationship and your career. And what boundaries do you have in place for them? What boundaries do you have in place at work? What boundaries do you have in place at home so that you can prioritize according to both? It should never be one or the other. It should always be my life at home, my personal life. It's a priority and it's most important and it's where my heart is. And for many of us, our career is where our heart is. But how do you prioritize? So I want you to sit there and jot down those things as priority to you in your career and your marriage or your dating relationship or your engaged relationship, as well as I want you to write down those boundaries that you have in place for them. And then I want you to write down the actions that you're doing to follow through with them. Okay, guys, it's just short and sweet today. Next week, I'll be coming in with a specific topic on how you can balance marriage and career successfully and at the same time without having the thought or the conversation around divorce. See you next week. Thanks for listening in.